shit, man, I had so much also going on at the time too. You know, my dad. So this relationship that I had gotten into didn't work out. Surprise, surprise, right?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, we were out.
Look
We
at
were
us.
out of the house. Literally, I got out in like September. I was out of the house before like I don't even know. I was out of the house. I had my own place before December of that year. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, I
let's really
remember
put that together. And you know, so I was like, whatever, I'm out. That sucked. There goes my. And you know, I was trying to hold on to something because my dad was like dying. So I was like, I need to hold on to something. So I was like all depressed, like, my love, no, my heart. And I was like, it's bullshit.
Which is natural.
I was like, yeah, but also I was like, I was really just trying to force it so I wouldn't have to think about my dad. But then all that shit kind of went away. I was like, damn, okay, whatever. You know, I was like, all right, I got bigger fish to fry, right? And yeah, man, I don't even know, dude. It was all a mess. And then, so like, you know, and he's, you know, and then the cancer picks up and it really starts taking a toll on him. So, and this job, man, it's just, yeah, I can deal with a bunch of bullshit, but man, this job is just so draining. And I'm like, this isn't what I was made for. You know, I was like, I did not spend all my days freaking in the mud, dragging my ass, dragging everybody else, carrying people, learning all my skills, learning all my management, learning all these things to be pushing keys or to be sitting comfortably, to just there's no bullshit,
taking lit from 65-year-old Janice.
Yes.
Two
and I was just
down.
looked at myself and I was like, oh shit, I'm normal.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was like, oh no, this isn't good. People, you know, come up to me like, man, I'm happy for you. You got your own place, you got a car, and that's cool.
Like,
and
bitch,
all.
that's expected.
Yeah, that's expected. That's the standard. You're talking about the bare minimum, and you're happy for me. I should say fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be my friend. Like
I'm happy you feeding yourself and wiping your own ass.
Yeah, dude. Like, and so, you know, and all this stuff's going on. So I'm in like this huge dilemma of like this battle internally. So yeah, I just say, you know, my dad's slowly getting worse. So I was like, okay, I got to accept that this job is just not for me. Like I had to accept, okay, dude, you did just what we talked about. I was like, admit it. Just admit to yourself that you took this job out of desperation because you were scared. And I did. And I was like, I fucking took this job because I was scared. I didn't know what the fuck the world was going to throw at me. All I saw was dollar signs. And I didn't care about anything, you know, straight tunnel vision. And all I had in my head was grind. Be that guy. And I put all that effort and I put that mentality into a place that it just doesn't accept it and it doesn't work in that. And also,
well, you just chose a work environment.
It was also not,
but that you didn't really have any experience in.
Yeah. And it was just trash. I didn't like it. And, yeah, man. So I was like, man, this sucks. So I left. And my dad always talked about me being in college. So I joined college like 2 months before he passed away. I got enrolled into Collin College. Yeah. No, it was a month. Yeah. I got enrolled and then like 3 weeks later he passed away. It was like the middle of the semester or whatever. But he got to see me in college. So he got to at least see me get accepted into Collin.
So how long was it between the time that you EAS'd from your dad passing away?
Man, it feels like it was almost too close. But dude, like I said, 9 months prior to me getting out, he was sick.
Right.
And in that 9 months, he completely deteriorated pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then in that final, I want to say it was like a year because like September to September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So September to September of the following year. At one point, like in the last few months, he's just bedridden.
And that was like what, September 20th to 21?
Yeah. So I'd say it was about a year of.
Yeah.
But in that year too, I'm working a job that I'm forced to use a completely different personality.
For sure.
Right? I'm now single, living in my own place by myself. And also, you know, just trying to figure out who the fuck I am.
So let's recap a little bit, right? So you take a guy who is on the back end of his Marine Corps career, in charge of 15, 20 plus guys.
Yeah.
And everything's going for you, right? You have
everything, yeah.
You have all the certifications.
Oh, dude.
You have the blueprint of what the Marine Corps asked for you to be successful.
Oh, my life was already planned out.
And you've already met those standards and exceeded them. And now you're on the outside. You're in a job you don't like.
Mm-hmm. I'm an average Joe.
Essentially, right?
I'm parking. I
don't mind fucking telling you this shit, right?
There's no reserve.
You're doing a normal job.
Yeah. I was really a regular ass guy.
Which is crazy.
Literally a regular ass guy.
It's crazy because you just got recognized as an above average person.
Yeah.
Doing above average things. And then you show up in the civilian world and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking cares.
People literally won't I remember it was such a culture shock to me, and this sounds ridiculous, but when I would walk into a PX, right, in the military, right, and there's a PX is just like a store, and there's there's someone there who's a lower rank, and he just sees you, and he's like, oh, hey, here you go, Sergeant, and you're like, oh, thanks, bro, you didn't even have to do that, I can open my own doors, but thanks, that's just respect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I went to work in my office job. You had to have badges to open them, but those motherfuckers won't even hold the door for you, bro. They will watch that shit close. And if you don't have your badge, they're like,
they'll make eye contact.
Sorry.
They'll make eye contact with you as it's
calling.
Yeah,
dude, they will people.
Fuck you.
No joke. I had people stop me before. I've held doors open for. They're like, wow, thanks. I'm like, what do you mean thanks? This is normal. This is, I don't know.
You're
dude.
welcome. And by the way, do this shit for me tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. It was that was such a real culture shock. And, but yeah, I'd say it was about a year. I'd say it was about 8 months of pure, about a year. Yeah. Till his actual death. But the day I got home to the day he died was pure torture.
So explain to me where your head is at the months following the passing of your father.
Yeah, man. So I was in college. It was my first semester of college. He passes away, and I'm like, okay, immediately depressed, right? Because we're talking about my best friend, right? So he's gone, so I'm immediately depressed, dude. I'm driving to the cemetery every other week. I'm fucking, I'm laying on his tombstone, just crying my eyes out, just, I'm an emotional wreck. I'm going to school. I hate everybody. I take my semester finals, and I get a letter in the mail. Oh, you're on the president's list for the semester, 4.0 GPA. And I just threw that shit away. I was like, I don't care about this. What people would hold as an achievement at super high levels, I didn't give a shit about it. I was like, throw that shit out. My fiance handed me my girlfriend at the time was like, here, she's not my fiance, but she handed me this, and it was a whole congratulations. I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care for it. So I'd say 2 weeks, I dropped out of school.
What made you drop out?
I just didn't care anymore. I didn't care about anything. No joke, dude. I was just fully detached from reality. I didn't care about anything. Because basically, I guess the reason I didn't care, to kind of make this more of a point, was I watched my dad do everything for me growing up, right? I mean, I watched this man work 3 jobs, sleep on a fucking couch, sometimes on the floor, for years, just to make sure me and my sister were able to get through high school, right? And this dude, did everything for me growing up, took great care of me. So my only goal in life, right, it was never about me, right? When I was trying to do music and all that other thing, my millions were like, okay, what am I going to do with my millions? How am I going to give it back to him, right? And my main goal, get him a house, get him a car, take care of him, because we didn't have shit, you know what I mean? So I'm going to give him everything that got taken away from him when that job, got cut from him. I'm going to give it back. I'm going to give it back times 10. So that happens, right? So I was like, well, fuck, that was my only goal. My only motivation was to do great things for him, right? And that just got kicked to the curb, in the most aggressive way, right? It wasn't something, I don't even know if there would have been an easier way if he passed, but holy shit, you want to talk about a shit experience, dude, because I was going through school and all these things, and dude, like I'm showing up to a brittle old man in a hospital bed. He can't talk. He's on pain meds. He's asleep all the time, and I'm like, oh, this is my dad. I have to
it was
like,
pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah, and it was fucking traumatizing, man. So all I have all throughout school all day is my dad's like face ingrained into my head, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna remember that for a really long time. And in the last day before he died was like really fucked up. I don't even want to talk about it, but like something happened on the day before he died, and it was just, it was a dude, it was just fucked. I can't even explain it. Like words can't. Maybe not even for this podcast, but like it was real fucked, and it really put a sour taste in my mouth about life. And I was just at that point, yeah, I was like, okay, so I know I'm qualified. I know I'm this. I know I'm that. I can do. I knew I still had options on the table, but at that point, I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'd rather
I guess
DIE. You know what I'm saying?
I guess the point I'm getting at is you were essentially at the lowest you probably could have been at.
Dude, I was okay. So, I'd wake up. I'd fall asleep at like 1, 2 in the morning. Wake up at 6. Smoke a bunch of weed. Watch YouTube videos and waste my day away. I would be smoking a bunch like all weed all day, just falling asleep, doing nothing, pacing around the house aimlessly, working out, just worrying about stupid shit. And just, it just got really destructive, man. Like I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was, I don't even know. I was merely just existing, at that point. And yeah, man, I was at my absolute lowest. I can definitely, dude, I had so many episodes of like manic episodes, like I called, dude, I remember this one time, man, I was fucking tripping out because I was freaking out that because the way my dad died, with cancer, and it took him, I feel very scorned by the world right now, the way they took my father from me. And I was dude, I went through this crazy manic episode where I was like, the world is no bullshit, like out to get me. I was like, not only is the world out to get me, but people are watching me right now. They're watching my every move. They're watching my phones. They're going to be at my door any minute now, and they're going to do something bad to me. Something's going to take me. So I was freaking the fuck out. And I like got into this parking lot, and I was like, I called a mental hospital. I called them and I was like, hey, like I'm in this parking lot. Here's the rundown. Here's what's going on. I need your help. And I was like, I need to be like admitted into this hospital. And she was like, honey, we're full. Like we're not taking anybody. And I was like, is there anybody I can talk to? And she was like, you need to call like the ER or something like that. So I called the hospital and I was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out if you guys take like mental patients or like what's going on. Like, what if, yeah. And they're like, you can come into the ER and sit down and maybe we can have someone sit with you. And after a while, maybe we can talk to someone. And I was like, you're not getting it. Like, I was like, I need help right now. And she was like, if you feel like it's an emergency, you can call 911. And, man, I'm sitting in this parking lot and I'm just like, I was like, dude, I didn't feel anything, I was just like, I was like, I'm so strung out. I call, dude, the fucking mental hospitals don't even want to take me. You know what I mean? So I was like, now what? And I was like, dude, I was just really about to deuce out like right there in the parking lot. But, I called my mom and we talked for a minute and I just went back home after that. And then, yeah, so I was definitely like in the gutters and I just said, fuck, I'm gonna take a break. Took a vacation, after it was like 2 straight months of just nothing, of just being self-destructive. And then, that's when a few other things started happening, like better, the things after that got a little bit better, but 2 months of just pure self-destructiveness.
So, that's obviously that's the lowest point. What changed?
So I'm gonna be real. It's two things. Two things changed. One was I had told myself it's finally time to just say something and then do it. Because I had realized when I had made that decision in my moment of weakness all those years ago, when I had chosen my family and a girl over what I could have been, what I could have done, and when I made that change to that normal guy, I was just doing the bare minimum. I was just, setting my standards and goals so low that they were so easily obtainable, and I could just live with that. And I was always saying, yeah, well, I want to go travel here. You know what? I'll go. One day I'll do that, or I'm gonna get this. One day I'll do that. I'm gonna chase this hobby, chase that. But I was in a position, and also with someone in my life who was very not supportive, not anything. And now I had a support system. Now I have someone where I can talk about where I could just talk about my dreams and aspirations, and it didn't sound crazy to them. They can be like, they would at least be supportive, which I was like, fuck yeah. So I finally said, okay, if someone's there, like, to back it, at least follow through now. Like, now someone's going to hold you accountable. Just follow through with that shit. Right. So I said, okay, I'm going to take a trip. And we started there. Let's take a trip to Colorado, right? Let's get out of here for a little bit, and let's just go, I guess, figure things out. And two, man, I made a really big step well, I wouldn't even call it a big step. I'm still definitely trying to figure this all out. But man, I just kind of accepted that, God plays a really big role, here in everything. This is one thing that, I mean, you know me, dude. You've known me for a long time. I was very agnostic, and then it got to a point where I was very like, okay, dude, nothing. Like, I was like, look, religion isn't real. None of this is real. It doesn't matter. I was like, we're all just here. We're gonna die. It doesn't matter. Like, nothing cares. Like, I don't care about anything. So, yeah, and I had a breakdown, right? So I had a breakdown, right, one day, just in all my anxiety or whatever, and I basically, dude, I was like screaming at the sky, like on my knees, like freaking out and screaming, mad at God, and I just realized I wasn't taking shit seriously. I wasn't taking life seriously, and I realized in that outburst, and it wasn't life, it was me. A lot of my, yeah, I mean, bad things happened, you know but a lot of those emotions I was feeling, a lot of those self-destructive things I was doing, I realized I was in control of that. I was the one who was doing those things. So, it's not somebody pulling the strings. It's not somebody who's out there coordinating, like, all right, yeah, fuck his life up in 3, 2, 1. You know what I mean? Obviously, bad things are going to happen, but it's the fact that it's the way I'm reacting. It's the way I'm presenting myself to these situations that are making me so just outrageous. You know what I mean? So, I told myself that I'm not gonna work for Kevin anymore. I have to work for something bigger than me, and I have to at least introduce something what's bigger than me, right? Because all I cared about was myself, right? All I cared about was, at this point, I was just like, I'm just gonna mind my own business and just try to live. So I have to accept that there's something bigger than me out there, and there's a bigger purpose out there for me. And I'm not gonna lie, man. The second I accepted God into my life and the fact that He's a real factor, I only have my own testament as to what happened with my life. But I can tell you truthfully, the second I accepted God, my life 180'd within 3 days. 3 days, 72 hours, my life flipped. And obviously that included, with, just because you accept God doesn't mean things are just going to be easy now. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you a free hall pass. I've still ran into struggles, but I've just accepted that I'm no longer the main character. You know what I mean? That's what I tried being all the time. I tried being the guy,
Is that
quote
kind
unquote.
of a deeper way of saying that you kind of pulled your ego out of it a little bit?
I think so, man. I mean, so like what I was trying to get at that is, so the guy, right? That's what everyone trains to be, right? Especially in the military. Be the guy, be the stud, be the one in a hundred or whatever. And that's cool and all, but when you pull that out to raw, like real life, you know what I'm saying? You just become empty. You become a machine. That's all you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I don't know. I just I can't do that. So once I realized that, okay, I'm just gonna play my part, and whatever is good will happen. Will happen. What's bad will happen too. But you know, if I can keep a positive mentality, I can, you know, react a little bit better to it. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I pulled my ego out of it, and I got humbled, dude. I had a really big problem with humility, you know what I'm saying? Because my standard was so high and I wouldn't accept anything less. And when I realized that it was me who was flawed in certain ways, I had to just accept that, take it on the chin and keep rolling with it. Uh, and yeah, man, I've been humbled so many times recently, you know what I mean? But the blessings that I've received are immense and in full view, you know what I'm saying? So there's no doubt. Those are probably the two biggest things I would say. That being one thing that has definitely impacted me the most, and one thing I'm still trying to, you know, advance on and get more of a grip on, because I mean, he's great. He's been good to me.
Yeah.
He's been good to everyone else, you know.
All right, so then let's wrap this up by I want you to kind of give me a few minute kind of synopsis of what the last, you know, 9 months to a year of your life has been like. Obviously, post all of the stuff you went through, post transition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I can confidently say at this point that you have transitioned out of the Marine Corps, transitioned out of the military. You've kind of been able to take the good that you got from the military and use it effectively towards what you do now, and taken the bad and kind of shifted it to the wayside in a way that you can say, I don't want to deal with all that because it's not beneficial to who I am now.
Uh-huh.
So tell me what you're doing now. And also I want to know kind of what you did and what you brought from the military that's benefited you now.
Absolutely. So right now I'm in construction management. That's what I do. Now definitely I'd like to lead off with the fact that there's so many things that correlate with the military and construction in all the right ways, right? And not instead of all the negative ways, right? Like I mean, someone might call you a dumbass every now and then, but you know, there's other perspectives of it that aren't so bad. You know what I mean? But accountability, responsibility, and also, I guess, you know, in a really watered down sense, they kind of play it into like honor, courage, commitment. But you know, I mean, it's those things of just seeing something through all the way, especially by honorable means when you're building someone's home. You know, no shortcuts, no corners, things like that. But accountability too for being responsible for all this gear, all these people, safety, things like that. So it really comes into play, and also my management skills on just maintaining anything from the squad size to the company size. You know, you got to be able to not only speak to a collective unit and make them do all one task, but also you need to be able to engage individually with people to have them, you know, direct fire in different positions, you know, because sometimes people will react really well to just direct conversation. Other people want to be warmed up a little bit. They need a you know, and sometimes some people just really want to be talked nice to, you know. So you have to be able to do that, right? And that's one skill I brought over. I'm still definitely working on, you know, but that's one thing I feel there's so many soft skills that the military teaches you that a lot of people don't really incorporate, right? So I want that to be a hot topic here. Soft skills, man, customer service, talking, nice response, you know, just the light things, right? Just light organization. Can you what does your desk look like? You know, how do you take notes? Do you take them digitally? You know, do you write them down? Stuff like that. Like, I'm not asking you to know how to run code and do all this stuff, right? Like, if you have a variety of soft skills, you can actually up your game a little bit more for wherever else you want to go, right?
Sure.
I mean, dude, I was an artillery mechanic. I'm doing construction. Those are two very different things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? One was a gun that shot a missile 17 miles away. One's a home. It's a stationary object. The other one had wheels. So and especially coming into I didn't know much about it. But I'll be real with you, man. I had a real big problem seeing this, hearing this, and then also being a victim of it, is seeing what I like to call lifers in the military tell me or any other of my peers that getting out won't be as beneficial as staying in. Now, this is not a knock to anybody who's still in the military or anybody who's doing 20 years or anybody who's dedicated their life to their service. Respect, 100%. This country owes you a debt of gratitude, by all means. But what I'm saying is, I'm 25 years old right now, right? I'm good. Leave it at that. The skills, from the mechanical to the people to the management to the attitude that the military has taught me, you have so many skills. I want every service member to recognize that, especially all the young Marines out there. You just leaving the Marine Corps after 4 years, you already have such a head start in front of the people who are either, didn't go to college or are in college. You know what I'm saying? I can confidently say I've beat out multiple college graduates for either my position or for promotion, any of that. And it's all just due to attitude and what you can bring. Everybody, it's all about, I don't know if you've ever heard WIFM. It's what's in it for me.
Yeah.
That's always
a WIFM, yeah.
It's always there. And that's what you have to be able to provide, to these companies. I mean, dude, when you're a Marine, you can give a sit rep, right? You can write a report. You can do all these things. So you're already ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're ahead of the curve. You're so far ahead that you need to reach out. Like this, I had a problem, right? This always bugged me. I always hated when my friends were getting out and they were doing what I did, right? I even regret, well, I don't actually regret it because I'm at where I'm at now, but I made the decision to just grab what was attainable, right? The low-hanging fruit, and I mean, I that's all I did. That's all I went for. And I saw all my other friends do it. Yeah, man, I'm just going to drive a tractor, make this much money.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'm just going to, work behind a desk and make this much money. And everyone was just okay with it. You as a novice in the civilian world after being a Marine for 4 years or 8 years or how you are so far ahead, reach higher, man. If I would have reached higher, I don't know where I would have been. I'm glad I didn't at the time, at least, because it got me to where I'm at now. But dude, there's so much out there that's obtainable, and that the skills and the hard work that has already been put in, you can see results for it, man. I don't ever want people to be out there to think that the military is their last option. I mean, dude, don't let some guy who has been in the military since he was 17 and has never held a real job or has gotten a W-2 from anybody else but the DOD, that there's nothing out there in the real world for you.
Because quick shout out to them. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, man, there are first sergeants or there are master sergeants who have been in for 18 years, and you know who I'm talking about. I make more money than you now. So, well, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, but that's not a diss to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not also throwing my paycheck in people's faces. But what I'm saying to you guys who are sitting in your barracks room listening to this shit, you don't have to stay in if you want to be successful. If you work hard, if you try, if you do the bare minimum, if you believe that there is brilliance in the basics, I assure you, I guarantee you, you will step out of the military and do bigger things than you thought.
Are you happier now than you were 3 years ago?
Absolutely. I can't even express it so much, dude. I am the freedom in being just a civilian again. And then also, I mean, there's a lot of freedom that just with a lot more opportunity, there's a lot more freedom, right? And then with a lot more freedom, there's a lot more opportunity. So it works for itself. I can definitely say that I'm happy. I'm happier now, or just happy in general. Shit, if we're being honest, I wasn't very happy back then. But yeah, man, things are, not to say that things still don't get difficult or anything, but yeah, man, I'm definitely happier now. But I miss it. I miss it a little bit.
Yeah. You always want to get your freak on a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I just throw on my camis and run around the house a little bit. And I just scream at my fiance.
Yeah, might as well play Marine every now and then.
Yeah, no. But yeah, man.
Well, listen, so I feel like we've gone through a lot. But if there's one thing I want people to take away from this podcast, I wanted them to know kind of where you came from, how you grew up, so on and so forth. But more importantly is the understanding that you can go through so much in your transition out of the military and you can still be okay.
Absolutely. I'd like to make that a very big point to all the people who are either getting out or they just got out, or hell, if you've been out for a while. There's always an upside, and yes, a lot of it will come down to you making that decision to get up and do something about it. But I guess let me take a step back. Let me just level with people, man. We get it. I understand that sometimes shit just sucks, and sometimes you just want to stop for a second, and that's fine. Every now and then we take a fucking tactical pause, Sometimes somebody misfires, or we have a ceasefire, something goes on, we take a tactical pause, regroup, right? That's fine. Do that. But you need to understand that there's so much more out there to life than just, one, whatever the military tells you life is, and also, two, stepping out into the real world. And, I got a pretty good taste of life, and a lot of it's a little extreme, finding out what's important, and just, you don't realize how your importance. I don't ever want that to slip. Don't think that you're a useless piece of gear just because you get out of the military and what you think you have is not transferable, or you're not going to be able to make it. I'll tell you right now, I was a mechanic. And I got out, did what everybody else does. And I got my ass beat by life. I got the shit beat out of me by life, right? It dragged me through the mud. But with the right support system, with standing up for myself, with being real with myself, and this is an ongoing battle. I routinely go to therapy and things like that to work on self-confidence, working on past trauma and things like that. But all of that, you need to do it within yourself. It takes that. Just own up to yourself. Realize that you're worth something, man. That's what I'm getting at here is I don't want you to think you're just useless if you get out of the military. There's such great opportunity out there, like I said, just for your soft skills that you guys can provide. So don't ever think that you should settle for the bare minimum, because I'll tell you right now, I've done it, and it doesn't work, and it's not worth it. I can't stress that enough.
So I like it. I think what a lot of people tend to do on the backside of their Marine Corps career or military career in general is they choose the easiest option.
They take it easy for a little bit
instead of the smart option.
100%.
And that's very similar to even civilians in that. I mean, we had these conversations earlier about money, which is the easy option is to put money in savings.
Mm-hmm.
The smart option is to put money in assets that give you more money over time.
Exactly, yeah.
What I hope at the minimum that people take away from your story is that don't just take the easy road on the outside of your military service. Take the time, do the research, maybe take the opportunity to learn something that you weren't planning on learning beforehand.
100%.
And branch out and see if you can take opportunities to find what you like. but don't just settle for something because the money's all right.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think settling's what fucked me in the first place, man. If I'm being real, is settling is what got me in the mix. I settled like for callbacks, dude. I settled with the relationship. I settled with the job. I settled with the fact that, and even after that, I settled with the fact that I was just gonna be living alone. I was just okay with all that stuff, and that's even a callback to the last podcast. You should never be okay with not being okay. That right there, man, is just it's everything right there. Stripping everything down to its rawest form is that pressure that you guys put on yourselves when you get out to be I don't even know, to be so non-militarized, you know what I mean? To be so different or go back to normalcy. I feel like if you can get rid of that, that might be a little bit more helpful. Yeah. Don't go back to being who you were.
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed overall is to don't forget where you came from in the military.
Yes.
But the military should have nothing to do with your decision.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Don't forget who you are and what you can do.
100%. Don't ride it for the check, man.
But who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
What somebody has to say that's been in the military since they were 17 and they're 35 trying to tell you where to go.
Preach.
Who cares? Because, by the way, everybody's fucking different.
Everybody's different, dude. People are making money by selling dick pics now. Anything's possible. You can't tell me that.
Don't dime me out like that.
Yeah, dude. Like, bro, you cannot tell me, dog. And I hope there's a Lance Corporal listening to this in his barracks room, and like tomorrow he's just gonna wake up and be like, "Fuck you, Staff Sergeant." And he's
actually,
just like,
tomorrow's Friday, so I know you're standing outside your fucking door waiting for me to come inspect.
What's the date? It better not be Chuck Friday. You motherfuckers better have him pressed.
It's February 4th.
Oh, I'll see it.
So you better be in fucking Chuck
26
tomorrow,
days,
too,
motherfucker. Yeah.
I'm coming for that ass.
But I'll tell you right now, man. Yeah, I'm happy, man. And I think all my guys out there, if you're still in, if you're riding that train, if you're getting out, just remember your worth, Kings. That's what it really is, man. And it took no bullshit, man. I settled for less. Take that from experience. I settled for less, and then finally, when I held myself accountable and I was held accountable by others, I remembered my worth, and that's when I started getting what I deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing, 100%. If you're listening to this, you can do the exact same thing, if not better.
Well, I don't really know how to wrap this up other than to kind of point you towards the resources that we always go towards at the end of these podcasts. We have our National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. If you're going through some shit, if you're just going through a rough patch, life's not going your way, if you have some shit you want to talk about, call that number, give them a shout. If you just want to talk, that's fine as well. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. Give them a call. Let them know what's up. Kevin, I'm glad we got you on the other side of the mic, brother.
This is so crazy. This is such a weird. This has been, honestly, I feel like this is crazy. I truthfully, I'm having so much fun right now, dude. Thanks for wanting to do this, man. Damn, I feel like I got so much shit off my chest, which is good. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Brother, hey, a lot of people are not willing to put their personal shit out on the internet for people to hear, but I genuinely, if one fucking person especially from the military hears this podcast and it helps them, we've done our job.
Yes.
And I couldn't, ask for a better situation than that. So,
no way.
Any last words?
Stand-up dates coming soon, guys.
Yeah.
So stand by for those.
All right. Appreciate you joining the Side Conversations podcast. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.